How do you think dentistry has changed from that time to today?
Well, dentistry has changed on two perspectives. One is from dentist side and one is from patient side. During our days, patients were not so aware of dentistry. Today, patients are aware of dentistry because of social media. They go to Google, they go on social media, so they get aware of dentistry and they go to a dentist and they tell them what work they want to do. From dentist perspective, it has changed because the technology has changed. Social media has made the world small, so people doing anything in US, they would like Indian to do it. So with the technology coming down to India, dentists also are doing great job like what foreigners are doing or Americans are doing. The advantage for Indian patients as well as foreigners is that Indians are less expensive because our overheads are less, but the quality remains the same. The one factor which has changed from dentist perspective is the treatment planning. Younger dentists fall prey to patients' demand without considering, sometimes without considering the long-term effect of what they are doing today. Whereas older dentists always would like anything they do in the mouth has to stay for very, very long. It should not be repeated. So that's the little difference is there, but I think both if the moment dentist understands the long-term implication of technology, which is basically 80% for the benefit of dentists and technicians and 20% benefit of patients. When they understand for patients' perspective, they have to do what old-timers used to do, proper planning. And the reason is very simple, that though technology has changed, the anatomy and physiology and pathology is the same what was there 40 years back and what is today. So human beings are the same, so the treatment plan has to be the same one and use technology properly. I think the change is very, very acceptable.
What is the best ever compliment you have got from your patient?
The basic compliment I'll say what patients get is that when they come down to our clinic is they feel positive, the vibrations are good, they are very happy and they feel the atmosphere is very good. I will not speak on the compliments on the work done, because work done is objectivity, everybody has to do a good job. But the subjectivity of your clinic and as a doctor, myself as well as my staff, is the positiveness in our clinic, and you always make patients smile and laugh. You make it very casual. You can make out this is my dress code. I'm wearing t-shirts since 1993. So I make it very casual and I don't make a big issue. Even if it is oral cancer, I very subtly tell them the implications of that. Because unlike many people, even the smallest cavity, they go in a different direction. So the compliment which I feel I get is patients is that we feel very nice to come here, we are very happy to come here, and they enjoy the visit in our clinic. I think that's the best compliment.
Absolutely right. So I think the take-home message from what Dr. Mayekar just said is that everybody learns in your dentistry how to treat a particular disease. We are all experts in that, but the key is when the patient who comes with pain, with grief and with negativity, it's your positive attitude, your clinic's positive environment that almost more than 50% cures it.
So what is more important is the soft skills are more important than hard skills. Right. Hard skills are very common, but soft skills are subjective. So as I'm in Kolkata, the way we have to speak to a patient in Kolkata could be different than what we speak to a patient in Mumbai, and is different than it is speak to a patient from New York. So it's a very subjective matter, it's a human nature which you have to understand before you actually explain to the patient. And patient do want that. Patient want more of a understanding of the subject, what we are going to do in the mouth and what is the problem and what's the solution, how long the solution remain, etc. are more important.
What will be your message for the youngsters who are passing out from the dental colleges today?
The message is, first is that you are in the best profession. If anybody says that medical is the best profession than dentistry, I say no. Especially for ladies, because in medicine you settle down with MBBS at the age of 24, then you have to do MD, then you become this. By the time your career actually starts, you are married, you got children, and then again the diversification takes place in your mind. Very few doctors can go high, but then BDS, most of the doctors are doing well. If you see ladies practicing MBBS, ladies practicing are far less than BDS dentists practicing in the country. So basically BDS is the best profession, no emergencies. So the advice to young generation is that child is born after 9 months. There is nothing shortcut in that. So similarly, there is no shortcut in treatment to the patient. If the treatment takes time, it takes time as far as medical is concerned. So there is no shortcut, number one. Number two, when the child is born, first he crawls, then he walks, then he runs, and then he sprints. Same thing happened in your practice. You first have to learn to crawl. You just can't start practice that you are born in practice and you want to sprint. You will sprint, but you will fall so badly that it is very difficult to get up again. So it has to be a graph which will go up slowly, and it should go up continuously throughout your life. The graph of quality of work, and when we say quality of work, the finances is also quality with quantity. So that comes in. But if you try to go up fast, you will come down very fast. That's number one. Number two, you have to change every day, do something new, exciting. So there's a sentence which I usually say, when was the last time you did something for the first time? So you have to do something new all the time to go exciting and do something. And proper diagnosis, and if you can't diagnose, don't treat the patient. It's better not to treat the patient than to do wrong treatment. So proper diagnosis, that is correct diagnosis, right treatment plan. And then comes the treatment. So the treatment, whether is not the best treatment what you can do, what is needed for patient. If the patient needs endodontic treatment or implant, if they need that and you don't do it, get it done by the specialist. But see to it that you get the proper treatment done. So that's very important. And the last and the best message I can give, look the benefit of the patient. God will look benefit of your benefit. If you try to squeeze the patient for your benefit, God will not help you. Nobody will help you. So the best practice is, and to grow practice is, number one, continuous learning. Number two, quality practicing. And the most important is look at the benefit of the patient.
If not a dentist, what would have been?
Oh, if my father would have been alive, I would have become a chef. So my father, when I was in school, I was to cook. So my father wanted to become chef. Imagine my vision of my father in 1968, 69, 70, that he wanted me to become a chef, or he wanted me to go to Merchant Navy. So this was my father's wish. For me, because my father expired when I was in school, for me, I didn't think of any profession. When I joined dentistry, I didn't even know there was a dental college. I want to become a doctor, so I applied to medicine, dentistry, Ayurveda, homeopathy, Unani, veterinary, OT, PT, everything I applied. I got in dentistry. But one thing was there in my mind which came on, in Bollywood it came later on. Jodi number one, Kuli number one, etc. Hero number one. But before I joined dentistry, I wanted to, whatever profession I joined, even good process wala, I want to become number one in that. And to be number one is not to compete with others, but do something different that others don't do. So for me, anything I would have been trying to become number one, from boot polish wala to teeth polish wala. So today even dentistry, I try to become number one. So the point is your attitude towards going ahead and ambition, and keep the ambition in mind, and you are honest to yourself, it will come true one day.
It indeed is a very positive thought of whatever you do, be number one in it, and we all should take inspiration by whatever Dr. Mayekar just said.
The problem here is people compare from dentistry to somebody who's MBA, or from MBA to somebody who's owner of the business. Don't compare. You require X amount of money for basic luxuries life. After that amount of money, all is accounting hobby. So I personally don't feel money, everything. what is most important is goodwill, and that goodwill has got no expiry date. Whereas money can come and go, but goodwill always remain there. So try to give that.
If not Mumbai, which city would have you settled in?
If not Mumbai, I would have settled in a small village also. In fact, when I went to US, Germany for the first time in 1986 to learn on ceramic, crown bridge work, etc. And I went to German small village. I said, wow, I would like to stay here at my retirement, have your own organic farm, getting some vegetable fruits, and our supermarket is next door. No, you can buy something, bread and butter and jam is sufficient for me. So for me, the peace of mind is nature. So if not Mumbai city, anywhere. As I said, that you become number one in your own profession. You settle anywhere, make your kingdom there. So you don't need all this so-called materialistic luxury. You stay with nature, enjoy. Whether it's because I am born and brought up in a chawl where I had 2 rooms and one common toilet, bathroom. So today now I am having a bungalow next to Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan. But my attitude is the same. I can still go back to my chawl room and sleep there also. So nothing should change as far as even the material change, materialistic value change. In fact, I should travel to my college in train. Today I will love to travel by train. It's not necessary that I require Mercedes. So it's all in the mind, the luxury. Once you get it, you don't get importance of that. So you always go back to the basics and then think that, oh, I'll enjoy that also. So there is an enjoyment in every aspect of life. It's up to your attitude towards how to look at it. So, well, today I get pick up by Rolls Royce also. I go by private jet also. But still I don't mind going by bus and I don't mind going by train also. So my options are open, and once you experience everything, you feel there is no difference between sitting in a train or sitting in a, except one thing is very important in life: cleanliness, hygiene. That's very important. Whether it's the smallest hotel or the biggest hotel, whether it's a plane or a taxi, the cleanliness is very important because that's the hygiene one has to keep in mind.
Your favorite food?
My favorite food is Shrikand Puri.
Okay. Your favorite destination for holiday?
Any village in Europe.
And this is one last question. Your favorite actress?
I don't have any favorite ones.
I mean, as a patient, maybe.
Oh, well, I can't. See, it's very. They are different when they come down to clinic. You are the boss. You are the god in front of them. So they behave differently with us. I don't know about outside, but I love Priyanka. I love Sushmita. They're pretty good. Urmila Mathodkar is very good. Karina is good. Karishma is good. So most of them are very nice. Jacqueline Fernandez is good. So most of them are very nice with us. Very happy. As a doctor and patient relationship, you should know where to keep a line. So if you don't cross the line, everyone is very, very nice with you. So it's a different story how you project yourself with them. So I always say they are star outside my clinic. Inside I am the boss. So the relationship is human to human rather than star to human. So that's what I